Yo, we just hit 10k subscribers, so in this video I'm reposting the first ever sound design tutorial that I made, but I've edited it again so it's a bit more fun to watch. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. When I first started producing, I was that guy that would just use preset after preset after preset. I was scrolling through Omnisphere, scrolling through Serum, but one day I got bored of using the same sounds over and over again. So I went on YouTube and I watched every single video about how to use synths. And even though I learned all of the core components, like this is what oscillator does, this is what LFO does, I still couldn't create the sounds that was in my mind. So this is when I came up with GEM. G-E-M. A 3-step process that once you understand it, you can recreate any sound you imagine. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's go! We're gonna start off with G for generation, and generation is the foundation of our sound. Just like building a house, the foundation is gonna determine what we add next. So what are the 2 types of foundation? 1, audio files. So this is any kind of recorded sound, could be a voice, guitar, flute, anything that's recorded. And 2 is the oscillator, and this is how we generate sounds using synths. Let's go into Ableton. I'm using Wavetable today, which is a stock synth, but you can use any synth you like. I'm just using this for demonstration purposes. So the first shape we have here is a sine wave, and it sounds really clean. And this is commonly used for bass sounds like subs. Our next 2 shapes are the most common ones, the square and the saw. These ones are very versatile, so this is a saw. Getting a lot more high frequencies in there. And the square kind of reminds me of Super Mario. Yahoo! Our final shape is a triangle, and to me this kind of sounds like a sine and a square mixed together, because it's not as clean as a sine, but it's not as bright as a square. Sine, triangle, square, and saw. And if you haven't noticed, these ones like right here, like the square and the saw, they're much louder, and there's a reason for that. We'll go over that in a future video. If you're enjoying it so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're gonna have tips every week, so if you don't want to miss out, make sure you subscribe. And the second part of generation is, do you want it to be soft? Do you want it to be hard? Do you want it to be plucky? How do you want the sound to fade in or fade out? And to adjust this, all you need to do is modify this envelope right here, this amp envelope. So this first section here is the attack. So when you attack the key, what do you want to happen? Do you want it to come in straight away, or do you want it to gradually fade in? So let's demonstrate this right at the start. But then we can make it fade in. Release is when you release the key. Do you want it to stop immediately, or do you want it to go on for a bit longer? So if I have it like this, when we release, it comes off straight away. Or we can make it longer and it's going to fade out. The main shapes you're going to see are something like a pad, which is going to be like nice, slow moving textures. So that will sound something like this. So you get slow attack, slow release. Something plucky, which is very short. So for this, we're gonna bring this down, bring our release down, and we're gonna make this decay bit. So it's gonna come down really short. Look how short this shape is. That's gonna be like a plucky sound. And then we can have something in the middle, which is kind of like a lead sound, or it's like a general key sound, would be something like this. So now we've got the foundation of how sounds are generated. Let's go over how to make it sound interesting. Effects! When it comes to effects, there's a range of stuff we can add. We're going to start off with something called a filter. That's going to shape our sound, remove high frequencies or remove low frequencies. So here's our square. And we're going to add a filter. And this is removing all of these frequencies up here. This is removing the high frequencies. Also, you can make it remove the low frequencies right here. But that's a little bit boring, so let's add some more effects. Because we're in Ableton, we've got all of these effects. This is before the effects. Now let's add the effects. I'm gonna add the filter, vibrato, reverb. And you can add whatever effect you want. I'm just using these two for today. But there are plenty more effects that you can try out. Distortion is really good, adds a little bit of aggression. Chorus can be really good sometimes on basses and synths. And always experiment with the order that you put the effects in. I'm putting redux at the end of the chain, that's what it sounds like. Sounds quite cool. But if we put it at the start of the chain, completely different sound. So it depends on what you're going for. Always experiment with the order because you can create some cool effects. So effects make your sound interesting. But if you want to bring your sounds to life, this is where M comes in. M is for movement. Humans, we're moving right now. Our heart's always beating. And that's what makes a sound alive. Because when it moves subtly, that's what's going to draw your ears to it and really pay attention and make you think, wow. All we need to do is go into modulation right here. Click on LFO. You can map this to any parameter. So I'm going to map it to the same thing we was controlling before. Map it to the filter right here. We can control the depth, which is how far it moves the control. I don't want it to be moving too much. And what I'm going to do is, instead of being a sine, I'm going to make it random, a bit more unpredictable. We're going to smooth it out. Instead of being jagged, it's going to be smooth. And so this is a sound without any movement. So there are many ways to add movement. You can use LFOs, you can automate it yourself by hand, or you can use a sequencer. So now we've covered the GEM formula, generation, effects, and modulation. Now we're going to show you how to do it in Omnisphere and Serum. So in Omnisphere, we're going to click on A to view our first sound. And right here is our generation source. As we can see, we're using a sample, which is an audio file. And this is a Glock toy piano. We can change it right here. We use any sound we want. We can even load in our own sounds. And layer B is using MKS vibes. This is another sample. And if we want, we can mute each sample right here. Here's our amp envelope. So if we want to make it fade in or fade out, we can do that right here. So we've covered generation. Let's go into effects. Effects, we have a filter right here. So let's say you want to do a lowest pass filter. You can choose whatever one we want here and control it. And more effects. Got chorus, echo, and you can change it and add whatever effect you want. There's plenty of effects to play around with. To add movement, all you need to do is use these mod envelopes right here. You can assign these to whatever you want, or also you've got 8 LFOs that you can assign to what you want. And to use it, you just do it here, LFO 1, and you assign it to whatever you want. So that's Omnisphere. And in Serum, we've got oscillators here, oscillator 1, oscillator 2. We can change the shape, so let's say we did basic shapes. We can see our sine wave here, our saw, our triangle, and our square. Envelope 1 is our amp envelope, so you can make it fade in or fade out, or make it into a pluck if you wanted to. Being very easy. So that's generation. Effects, we just click on effects. And we've got so many effects we can choose from right here. We've got reverbs, delays, chorus. Just add whatever you want. The effects section in Serum is really good. I love to use this on all kinds of sounds. You can add LFOs to whatever thing you want like that. It's just drag and drop. And that's what makes Serum really good. Like, it's a very fast workflow. And a lot of people use it for a good reason. And if you want to add even more movement, you can go into the mod matrix. And this way you can assign LFOs, envelopes to anything you want. Chaos 1 and Chaos 2, these are random sources. It's going to add random movements, so not the typical kind of samey movement. It's going to add some random movement. And that's why it's called Chaos, because it adds chaos to your sound. So I hope this has given you some insight on how to use synthesizers and make your own sounds. It's like my first proper YouTube video, so I'm really excited to know. If you've got any feedback, let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've got more coming soon. If there's a future topic they want me to cover, maybe you want me to go in more detail or something we did today, or something new, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about it. See you next time.